It was a great day to go ice skating if you stayed inside. Most outdoor rinks have turned into mud puddles, much better for boot hockey.
Yeah, it's fine. It's warm enough that you don't freeze up when you get wet.
But Minnesotans know how to adapt to changing conditions.
This morning, I started working on the yearly task of income tax. I said, no way, I'm not going to stay in the house today.
Just off Boone Avenue in New Hope, folks have come to expect a little winter break. They even know it by name.
January 8th, January thaw.
We have not been below zero yet this year, and we're going for a record.
The car thermometer said 45.
Look at these temperatures. 62 right now up in Bismarck, 48 in Minot, 64 in Rapid City.
Back in Weather Center 5, meteorologist Mike LaPointe has the numbers that show January is off to a warm start.
Last year we didn't have any 40s.
But he hasn't given up on winter yet.
A lot of people are like, oh, you know, this is going to be so warm. You got to remember, the end of January, the last 2 weeks of January and the first couple of weeks of February are typically the coldest.
LaPointe and other forecasters are already looking at colder air on the horizon. Since the beginning of the season, the jet stream has delivered warm Pacific air from the west coast. By the middle of next week, that will change. But will it mean more snow?
You have to take it and calculate it and figure, okay, if this cold air comes through, we have this much moisture, well, it's got to be a little bit of snow as it passes through the area.
Until then, Gerald Kovac will take the good feeling that comes with a 45-degree high.
When I really think about it, it makes you feel young, makes you feel like you want to get out and do something.
The Vikings have maintained all along they had no way of knowing Corey Stringer was suffering from heat stroke. They say it all happened so fast. But these court documents may show otherwise. We used them to create a timeline to determine just how long it took before Corey received medical treatment. Head trainer Chuck Barta testified he left the field shortly after 11 to treat coach Dennis Green, who had skinned his leg. He left an intern trainer in charge. About 11:15, the photographer sees Stringer collapse with a deep, agonizing groan.
It's hard to describe the groan, but you could tell he was in trouble. And then he finally rolled over onto his back and then just threw his hands over his head with his eyes closed. He had been holding his abdomen.
5 minutes later, intern trainer Paul Osterman advises Stringer to go to the first aid trailer to cool off. About 11:25, Stringer drinks 1 or 2 sips of water. 11:35, Stringer asks Osterman to take off his shoes and socks. About 11:47, Osterman hears Stringer humming to himself. 11:52, another intern arrives with a cart to take Stringer to the training center. Stringer is unresponsive. Osterman says that was the first sign that something was wrong. 11:57, medical coordinator Fred Zamberletti arrives. He thinks Stringer is hyperventilating and tells the intern to put a bag over his face. Osterman calls for an ambulance at noon. 9 minutes later, the paramedics got there. 12:24, the ambulance arrives at the hospital. Stringer's body temperature is 108.8 degrees. With heat stroke, every minute counts, so we counted up the minutes. Almost 40 minutes passed from the time Stringer collapsed to the time Osterman found him unresponsive. During that time, no one checked his pulse, no one gave him Gatorade, no one put ice on him, no one used a fan to cool him, no one took his temperature.
Good thing I can count.
It's hard not to count the hours
1, 2, 3.
when they add up to heartache.
You are a little bit.
At the end of this weekend,
Do you want to try a sip?
Well, I have to enjoy this because this will be the last time I probably get a Caribou coffee.
Doug Oswald and his family will be left counting the days until Doug comes home.
It was, Doug, we need you to go over there. And I said, how can I say no?
Oswald has been over there before. You see, he's the eyes and ears of the 133rd Airlift Wing, a master sergeant in public affairs who came home from Kuwait the very day the world changed.
Ever since September 11th, I've tried my best to cherish the time that Doug is here because I knew that it was just a matter of time.
And this time,
Come here, it'll be all right.
the thought of him heading into the middle of a war zone
I know. It is different. It's a lot different.
is just too much.
I want to know, like, where he's going. I want to know when he's going to be back, what day he's going to be back, what time.
Oh, what time is it? 4:30, right? 4:30. Yeah, to be out here by 4:30.
With just minutes to spare,
How you doing, Meg?
Oswald has packed his bags and prepared his children for life while he's away.
Here's your notes for the school. Don't forget those.
Now, Master Sergeant Doug Oswald is a member of the 133rd Airlift Wing. This morning, he'll join 108 other airmen for the trip beginning in Southwest Asia.
At the airport, there is time, maybe too much, to think about the weeks to come.
Well, do you have any questions about what's going on? You prepared for this?
We're at war against terrorists who threaten the very freedoms that define us as Americans.
Heidi, we see a number of couples there embracing as their loved ones get ready to head off.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Give her a hug, guys. I will.
Miss you.
The friends and family have come to see your loved ones off. Now's the time to say your goodbyes.
Thank you. Governor,
Menell.
Thanks, sir.
Menell, come back safe. I haven't lost a man yet. I don't want to start now.
As I'm stepping foot on that plane, I'm going to miss my kids, my family, my girlfriend, just petting the dog.
There he goes.
Just the things that you take for granted, I'm going to miss all those things. But at the same time, I'm going to think that I'm focused on the mission.
I mean, you knew we were in trouble. I mean, my thought was it was an earthquake or the building was going to tip over because it threw us against the wall.
Everybody was just looking up at the TV screen and they're watching the news. Everybody just said, like that.
It was just hard to believe, I guess. I mean, you know, there was a plane in the Trade Center.
I just sunk down on my sofa, and I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it was happening.
People were stampeding. Again, all the debris was...
I remember going to pick up my son from school and watching the kids playing, and they had no idea. And I thought, man, there are so many people that aren't going home today.
And then when I heard about the Pentagon going on, too, that's when I realized that we were under attack, and it was pretty scary.
And I knew that there was a bunch of people in there, and then once they collapsed, it's just even more.
The whole side has collapsed?
The whole building has collapsed.
The whole building has collapsed?
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us.
You just know. There's no way somebody could get out of that. No pieces, nothing but dust and girders, No desks, no chairs, no telephones, no computers, no nothing. Just small little pieces that fit in a 5-gallon bucket.
It took the wind right out of me.
Our world has changed, and we know it.
I've never seen anything like this in my 76 years, and I hope I never see anything like it again.
Part of the price of freedom is vulnerability.
Even a few days after September 11th, you're driving down Hiawatha looking at our skyline, wondering if the tallest building's gonna be hit out of the blue.
It doesn't seem like it was that long ago that all that happened.
When I was at work, I discovered that I couldn't do my numbers very well.
Swallow them into your stomach.
I didn't know what they meant all of a sudden.
Squeeze it hard. Squeeze. Wonderful.
Just didn't mean anything.
It's a progressive degenerative memory loss.
Do you remember when this picture was taken?
Sure.
Where was that?
Where was it? Right out here.
Well, I think that was at your house that you lived in.
And it basically, you faded with your memory.
The days get very long. You know, everybody leaves in the morning, they go off to school and they go off to work, and I used to go off to work. You slept tired or you woke up tired?
Both.
There are still people who say to me, I don't believe you have Alzheimer's. You're gonna find out it's something else.
Some people think that the earlier stages are the toughest because that's when you're aware of what you're losing.
I just don't know what time it is.
What time is it now?
1:33. Does that help anybody?
Sounds good to me.
I can read it, but it doesn't mean much.
Hey, that's very good. Well, so she didn't do an overall grade, but each of the stars means that you get them all right. You lose abilities in the same way you gained abilities as a child.
Not bad.
Yeah, right. I don't have that kind of memory anymore where somebody can tell me something and it stays in my memory. I would ask my kids 3, 4, 5 times, what do you want for supper? And 2 minutes later, I'd say, what do you want for supper? And they'd say, Mom, you just asked me. And 2 minutes later, I'd say, what do you want for supper? And they'd say, Mom, that's the 3rd time you asked me. But I still wouldn't remember what they said, nor that I'd ever asked them. You can't even remember what you went into a room for. And when that happens every 5 minutes, that you go to get something done and you can't remember what you were going to go do, and then you have to start another project, and then you can't remember that you were doing that. And with Alzheimer's, it's like things just disappear from your hands, you know, because you don't even realize you're holding it. It's constantly not being in charge of what you're doing. Well, these are my pills that I take in the morning.
For somebody that had so much moxie, you know, and could do everything, it's just pretty terrible to be in that position. That's why his hair is so gray and everything, is because he ends up doing everything.
Well, you know how you were before you got the disease and how you are now.
Yeah, well.
And so there's a grieving process there.
When you're a little kid, you're so afraid of the boogeyman, this thing that's gonna get you. But then when you grow up, you realize, oh, there is no such thing and it can't get you. And we're not afraid of the boogeyman anymore when we're adults. But I think Alzheimer's is the boogeyman of adulthood. It's what everybody's afraid of. They're all afraid of losing themselves in this way. They may not call it Alzheimer's, but when everybody talks about death, you know, it's the boogeyman of what we fear, of how we could die. And people say, well, you don't die of Alzheimer's. People don't die of that. And my response to that is, oh, you don't die of that. You die of pneumonia because your body no longer remembers how to cough.
Does she know what's going on?
Mm-hmm. Yep, she knows.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. Sometimes sad, sometimes, I don't know.
Sometimes sad.
Mm-hmm.
On the days that I'm doing better, then it's better.
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then these were like...
And then that's usually all she says.
And then these were from...
I get sad. I get sad because my children are too young. I'm sad for my kids. That's the hardest part. Is my kids. That's the hardest part. Once in a while, the demons come and I think about what lies ahead, and then it's hard not to cry. But then I just have to make sure that I have Alzheimer's and it doesn't have me. Get it! I just have to do what I can do today because the day will come soon enough that I can't do anything but cry.
Come on, get it!
But today, there's still things I can do.
Good dog.
Do you want to come and help set the table?
Oh, gosh, yes. You need your life. And when you can't pull your life up out of yourself, somebody else has to bring it to you.
Remember that darling little dog?
You know, 1 in 10 people over the age of 65 has Alzheimer's. 1 out of every 2 or 3 over 85 has Alzheimer's. It's not like people are going to escape this.
Where there's a will,
There ways
you can't win.
for losing.
What was I talking about? Just lost it.
This disease is bigger than any one person. You can't think positive and outthink Alzheimer's.
Okay.
But, you know, maybe if you think positive enough, you buy some time.
Yeah.
We find moments of joy over the course of 24 hours.
Okay. Okay.
Moments in time and moments in the day.
While visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Cute picture.
Maybe later in the evening or 2 days later, they don't remember it, but it doesn't matter if they enjoyed it at the time.
You know, every day that passes is another day that I won't have in the future, you know? But I'm so grateful for every day.
We're gonna have some fun.
Call it a sign of the times, the mixed signals, the uncertainty. Twins fans know, but even in darkness, their message shines.
Right now it is 4:30 in the morning and we are having breakfast on the plaza.
Good morning. We have a hot dog and a muffin for you.
The day of the Twins opener. Opening day! The opener that people thought would never happen. Twins, baby, all the way this year, yes!
The greatest day of the year.
There's just something about this day.
It means the Twins are back.
Hey, Lloyd!
How we doing?
Good.
Maybe it's the change of seasons.
It sounds like spring is here, and I think we're all ready for some of that.
Or maybe it's the fresh start.
This shirt is kind of old. It's time for a new one.
The point is, people seek out this day and all it represents.
Yeah, we love baseball.
Koski, Minkiewicz. Oh, they're all good, actually.
Glad to see you here. Well, we're here now.
Thanks, Tori.
This year, I think it's gonna be nice.
No spatula. Hey, we have a baseball team, okay? We've got sunshine, we've got cold beer.
Enjoying the Minnesota Twins.
What else we got?
Yeah, the best day of the year, right going now.
Thank you, baseball gods.
But the one thing I think we found out about the Minnesota Twins this year, they're not going to take any gruff from anybody. This is a very feisty baseball team.
You walk in there, you get ready for a game, you can feel the energy build.
See how far that one goes?
I don't know whether that's energy or spirit, but I know there's been a lot of wins in here, a lot of good wins.
There's only 3 things that have been originated in the United States: the short story, jazz, and baseball.
And to think, Major League Baseball considered taking all this away.
Batting second, number 15, the shortstop, Christian Guzman. Let's go, Goose!
It's been 9 years since a crowd this big.
Rounding third base is Koski. He'll score. And the third plate is called.
On this day, fans made a statement. 48,000.
We got plenty of people here tonight. Plenty of beer. Hey, Kobe. They're here. They're crazy.
Come on, Dogman! To me, you see, baseball is the humanization of our society. You're with people. You come with your friends and you bring people together.
The Metrodome pretty well filled up here for the Twins' 42nd home opener.
Still, this Twins team faces the unknown. It's that C word. The concept of contraction still looms, and for some fans, that might just be what hurts. After all, think about the possibility. 161 games a year, those summer nights at the ballpark, the crack of the bat, heroes at work, all of it gone. But for now, this Twins team breathes life. As one fan says, to the baseball gods, thank you, thank you, thank you.
First pitch, fastball away, ball one. There's a line drive to left, another hit for Josh. Swinging a fly ball off the fifth and an 11-game hitting streak.